Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you didn't think the Grizzlies would rid themselves of their problems with the Los Angeles Lakers, because that did not happen last night. We've struggled with the Lakers over the years.
What the hell's wrong with us?
I've been wondering the same thing, Bennett. I've been wondering the same thing.
I think we'll be all right.
Got off to a rough start last night. Made it competitive in the fourth. Had a shot, but ultimately it's a loss inside Crypto.com arena. LeBron came back, so did Zach Edey. We'll talk about all of it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. Michael Eaves, host Sports Center for ESPN. He joins me Monday in the second segment. Today's Monday. Second segment's coming up. Michael Eaves going to be here in about 20 minutes. When I finish talking to Mike, going to take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know. At which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Penny Hardaway's Tigers got a nice win Saturday at Clemson. I moved Memphis back into the top 25 and 1. I'll tell you where I got them. We'll do that in about 40 minutes. The SEC had a crazy good weekend on the basketball court. We might really be watching right now the best conference in the history of the sport of men's college basketball. I'll give you some numbers to support that claim. We'll do it a little later on in the show. We found out this weekend that Luigi Mangione's mother actually called the FBI even before her son was arrested, so that confirms what we believe to be true, that authorities did know who they were looking for before he was identified by a McDonald's employee in Pennsylvania. I'll get you updated on that story. We'll do it in the third segment. We now know what Mike Norvell's terrible season at Florida State's going to cost him. Exactly $4.5 million. He's giving it back. Give you the details on that. We'll do it in just a bit. And the Titans lost again this weekend, this time to Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
That's my story. That's my story. Why'd you put it at number 5?
So I could
that one worthy of like number 3?
So I could give you of all the time you wanted.
Okay, good.
So I wouldn't be sitting around waiting to get to Luigi. So I could just say, and story number 5, the Titans lost again. They're tied for the second worst record in the NFL. Bennett, what are we going to do about Will Levis? And then I can just sort of sit here and get some reading done, let you get whatever it is you need to get out, and then we'll do GP's carry out and we'll call it a day, right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So that's the rundown.
Good. Yeah.
So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because game 27 of a scheduled 82 was played last night. They did it inside Crypto.com arena. It's in downtown Los Angeles. It did not go well. For what I thought were the red-hot Grizzlies, maybe not as hot as I thought. Final score, Lakers 116, Grizzlies 110. Unfortunately, it was not as competitive as that 6-point margin might suggest. The Lakers led 2-0, then 4-0. Then 5-0, and literally never trailed in the game. The Grizz were down 10 points after one quarter, down 18 at the half. They trailed by as many as 23 at one point in the contest. They battled back.
They did.
They battled back, and when Luke Kennard buried a 3 at the buzzer to end the third to cut things to 86-77, if I'm being honest with you, Bennett, I was a little encouraged, but the Lakers used the first part of the fourth to push that lead back up to 15 points. The Grizz cut it to 7 with 5:24 left, but then Jaren Jackson Jr. committed, let's just call it a silly foul, and a final foul, a 6th foul. He did it on Anthony Davis, like 37 miles away from the basket, and that removed Jaron from the game with 4:12 remaining. And after that, the Grizz never really threatened again. Trailed by 23 in the game, lost by 6. Big Bet Bennett, I saw some people suggesting it looked like the Grizzlies had a little too much fun Saturday night in Los Angeles before a Sunday night game in Los Angeles. Do you subscribe to that at all?
I mean, I'd like to see the record of teams that are off on a Friday or Saturday in LA and then have to play the next day at Crypto. I'd be interested to take a look at that record.
I wonder if there's something to that.
I think it's like that one in Atlanta. Those are the two that it's like, oh, they were off a day before in Atlanta. You hear that all the time.
Well, there's a few of them. It's if you ever have a night off in Miami, Atlanta, New York, LA, and then you play poorly the next day. Mm-hmm. There's always somebody out there waiting to point to the fact that you had a night off last night in Atlanta, New York, Miami, or LA. And then they connect those dots. But I never know if those dots can actually be connected. Like, how would I know? How would I know?
I mean, how can you prove any of that?
Well, you know what it reminds me of?
Yeah.
Remember when Memphis was running through Conference USA? John Calipari was the coach. And then Gonzaga was running through the West Coast Conference.
Yes.
Mark Few was the coach. And sometimes these teams would get into the NCAA tournament and they'd go all the way to the championship game, right? Sometimes they would lose early. And every time they would lose early, you know what people say?
What?
Well, Memphis, this is the problem with playing in Conference USA. You play in Conference USA, it just doesn't prepare you for the NCAA tournament. And so then you get in the NCAA tournament, you got to play a real team, real athletes for the first time in a while, and you just get caught. You're not ready for that. Anytime Memphis would lose early in the NCAA tournament, anytime Gonzaga would lose early in the NCAA tournament, people would immediately, people look just like me, go on TV, and they'd say, well, this is the issue with playing in the West Coast Conference. It just doesn't prepare you. So why? The implication being, why did Gonzaga, as a 3 seed, lose early in the NCAA tournament? Because the West Coast Conference didn't prepare them for it. Mm-hmm. Say it every time. I promise you, let Gonzaga lose early in the NCAA tournament. This is what people will say every time. But then you turn right around and Gonzaga's in the national championship game, and they never say, "Well, here's the thing people don't realize: they get to play in the West Coast Conference, and so they get to coast for 2 months, and they're fresh when they never flip it around." It's just they wait for this thing to happen, and they assign the blame to lack of quality in your league. But I never knew if it was actually true. In fact, I don't think it was. I just think here's the truth. Memphis, Gonzaga are just like Kentucky, Kansas, in the sense that sometimes you get in the NCAA tournament and you go far. And sometimes you get in the NCAA tournament and you lose early.
Yeah,
and it doesn't always mean anything more than that. But when it happens to Memphis or Gonzaga coming out of those bad leagues, people would always say it's got to be because they're coming out of those bad leagues and they weren't prepared. Similarly, if you play bad at LA and you had a night off at LA, people start pointing to you must have had too much fun the night before in LA. But I never know if you actually did or not.
Yeah, I think the more likely excuse is this is just appears to be a bad matchup for them. Like I made it a point to look at what the Lakers, like what people that are Lakers fans say. Like I went and looked at Lakers posts to see what people say, and like a lot of the posts were, oh, cool, we get our win against Memphis again to get us encouraged about the rest of the season, only to lose by 30 to any other contending teams in the West. And I was like, there may be something to that it's just a tough matchup for them for whatever reason.
If I never see Rui Hachimura again, it'd be fine with me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's because, again, you see like what they do against other teams in the West, and they don't have the success like they have recently against the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a thing because I've heard this conversation already starting. Like, if you start, there's 2 weeks left in the season, and you're looking at, and the Grizzlies are second in the West. Do you start trying to manipulate where you are in the standings to avoid LeBron and AD and the Lakers? And I'm not ready to do that.
Oh,
I'm not ready to be scared of old man LeBron and the LA Lakers quite yet.
But if there was one team that is clearly inferior to you, at least in the standings, that I think I would pick anybody else over them.
Because even though LeBron just had to return from a personal leave of absence, they got turned into a sore foot somehow.
I know. What happened there? That was weird.
Well, let me ask you.
Yeah.
What do you think happened there?
I really don't know. I mean, I know my first thought was, okay, there's this weird part in the schedule because of the NBA Cup where these teams are getting longer. It's like a mini All-Star break. That's what this has been.
He was able to take 10 days off and only miss 2 games.
That's what I think. I think that it would. But again, then you had them ask J.J. Redick about it, and they were like, do you know when LeBron's coming back? And he said no. But this was before last night.
Yeah, right.
And so that kind of got my antennas up, like, well, why is he saying that?
Because here's the thing. You ready?
Yeah.
If the truth is as simple as there's a gap in the schedule now because we didn't make the NBA Cup quarterfinals where we could give our 39-year-old GOAT 10 days off and he will only miss 2 games and he's been dealing with a sore foot that's not going away.
Then we're going to do that.
So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
If that's the truth, because that's what they tried to say was the truth last night. But if that's the truth, why would you let all this shit swirl for 10 days?
Speculation, right.
If the truth is as simple as what we just described. Because that's the easiest thing in the world to understand.
Of course, yeah.
So we saw LeBron's on the status report for tonight. JJ, what's the latest with our king? Well, guys, we wanted to be in the NBA Cup quarterfinals. We didn't get there. Meantime, LeBron's been dealing with a foot issue. Plus, he's 39 years old, heavy minutes, and we might need to be thinking a little smarter about this going forward. He wants to play every game and every minute of every game, but as his coach, it's my job to protect him from that. As his front office, it's their job to protect him from that. So what we're going to do right now, not because LeBron asked us to, because he wants to play 38 minutes tonight, but what we're going to do, recognizing this gap in the schedule, there's a window here where we only have 2 games over a 10-day span. So in the spirit of giving him just some rest at his age, giving his foot some time off, we're just going to let him step away from the team for a little while.
Yeah.
We'll do this thing without him, and hopefully he'll come back refreshed, feeling better. But this is just, we're trying to be strategic here, and this looks like a good window to maybe try to get him a little rest. Nobody even blinks.
Yeah.
You just say, okay, that makes sense to me.
You know what?
Instead, it's like LeBron's away for personal reasons. Do you know when he's coming back? No. And then you just do the Twitter searches and you take you wherever you want to go with that. Just if the truth is as simple as what they tried to say it was last night, you should have said that 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago. You could have said it from the jump. You could have avoided a lot of the. People are going to talk, whether you talk or not. Would you rather them talk from a position of informed opinions or not? Of course, the former more than the latter. So again, it just makes no sense if the truth is he's just stepping away because we only have 2 games in a 10-day span and he's had a foot problem. If it's that simple, you just say that. That they didn't say that makes me think it wasn't that simple.
I'm kind of with you on that. It was weird for sure.
It's just weird.
Yeah, it was weird. And it could be too. I mean, again, like there's a team could just be worried about the league, like you said. I mean, the Joel Embiid thing, there was like an investigation as to why he was sitting, right? So I mean, it could be something like that. Like,
yeah, but that's what
we want to be vague because we don't want to get in trouble for sitting LeBron if he's healthy.
Tell the league, come fine us for sitting a 39-year-old with a sore foot down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's where you stand up to the league and say you can't do that. You can't do right. I think it's more complicated than they're trying to say now, because if it's as simple as they were trying to say it is now, there's a million better ways to handle it. Either way, LeBron, he did make his return last night. 18 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. He played 34 minutes. Zach Edey also made his return last night and was good. If you're looking for a bright spot for the Grizzlies, that was probably it. 13 points, 10 rebounds in 24 minutes.
That was positive.
And I know, you don't like to lose, especially to the Lakers, right?
No.
Especially in a game that lasts nearly 3 hours and doesn't tip till after 8:30 Central. We were all up late last night to watch a game that I guess got interesting in the fourth, but was mostly not competitive for much of the game. That's not fun for anybody. But like I was telling Jess earlier, I'm a big believer in just wake up the next day and see where you're at. Don't worry about how the night made you feel. I'm always more interested in how you feel in the morning.
Yep.
You can get caught up in the night, start feeling all kinds of ways. Wake up in the morning, take a fresh look around. Where are you at? If you take a fresh look around this morning, you know where you're at? You're 18-9. You're off until Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors come to FedEx Forum on Thursday. Tickets available, Grizzlies.com. That 18-9 record is still good enough for alone in second place in the West. You're 3 games back at Oklahoma City, half game ahead of Houston and Dallas. Second best record in the West, 4th best record in the NBA, with the Warriors coming to town later this week. Nobody likes to lose on a Sunday night, right?
Right.
But what I just told you, it's not a bad place to be. Sunday night wasn't good, but you wake up on Monday morning, take a look around, pretty good spot to be in.
It's pretty good. I'm feeling good. The one thing that just a little concerning early on, and I know that like Ja missed some time and everything. They are 2-6 against the top 10 teams in the West.
That's not great.
That's not great.
They still have had more players miss games.
That's right.
Than any other team in the association. I listen. We can dig into the schedule, and I think if you're trying to make a compelling case that record is a little misleading. You could do that. You could do that.
They also haven't played a lot of Western Conference opponents.
I'm more interested in they're 18-9 despite having more players miss more games than any other franchise in the league. I'll take it.
Yeah.
They had the 4th best record in the NBA despite having more players miss more games than anybody else in the league. I'll take it. What did Michael Eaves think of LeBron James' explanation last night for his time away from the Lakers? I'll ask him next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of up to $340,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Here Comes Santa kicks off November 24th. Get 1 free entry and earn additional entries for weekly Saturday drawings. Don't forget the grand finale drawing on Saturday, December 21st to win up to $5,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quoting, call 800-522-4700.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping.
It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
Behind the back to Jerry for the flush.
We're going to need, the Forum rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support. When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane three. Yes, sir. Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Hoop on the Grizzlies home court at Junior Grizzlies Game Day Clinics presented by Ortho South. Clinics are open to kids ages 6 to 14 and last 60 minutes. The next clinic tips off December 23rd, the same day the Grizzlies play the Clippers. All skill levels are welcome, from beginner to competitive athlete. Sign up now before spots sell out at grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies. Registration includes a Junior Grizzlies t-shirt and 2 tickets to the game that day.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. In the second segment on Mondays, I'm joined by Michael Eaves from ESPN. You see him hosting Sports Center. He joins me 10:20 every Monday. He's here right now. Michael Eaves, it's GP. How you doing?
I'm good, man. We have snow on the ground.
Oh, no.
In Connecticut. So I'm not fully good, but I'm okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm headed back your way tomorrow. So if it trickles to New York City, I'll see it with my own eyes tomorrow.
It didn't even snow in New York.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Didn't snow in New York. But Connecticut was special.
Okay. All right. Well, enjoy it or shovel it, whatever it is you have to do with snow and that. You know what occurred to me? Because in my line of work, I have so many friends who live, in New York City or where you live. And you hear about shoveling snow, having to wake up and go shovel snow. I've literally never thought about not only have I never done it, I've never even thought about it. Like I tell my friends in the South, if we need to shovel snow, we just don't, and we wait for it to melt, and then we get back to life. But up there, you guys actually like to have to go outside and do stuff. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. I've been on the East Coast now for like 11 years, and I don't do it anymore because where I live, thankfully, we have a HOA that does it for us.
Good.
But I will say it is a very overrated experience.
Yes, it sounds miserable. Let's talk sports. Last night, the Grizzlies were out in L.A. LeBron James makes his return after what was initially described as a leave for personal reasons. J.J. Redick, in the process of this absence, was asked, do you even know when LeBron's coming back? And he said no. It was sort of an odd situation. He returns last night, gets 17, 8, and 8, and after the game said, hey, it was just a left foot thing. I had a sore foot, needed some time away. Maybe it's as simple as that. But if it's as simple as he needed time away to deal with a foot issue, why wouldn't they just say 10 days ago he needs some time to deal with a foot issue? They left a lot of space for speculation, and as I'm sure you know, the speculation got wild.
Yes, and that's the thing. When you leave, a void, speculation will always fill it.
Right.
And that was the mistake probably made by LeBron and the Lakers in terms of just going out and addressing it, say personal reasons he's gone. And that happens all the time now in professional sports. Guys, that is not uncommon for that to happen. Now, he was dealing with a foot issue, and it probably was sore. So is that the real reason he missed 2 games? But while he missed those 2 games, he was away from the team, and that's different than not playing. He was away from the team, and that's the thing that raised eyebrows. And here's the thing, Gary. Maybe it was both. Maybe the foot was going to cause him to miss 2 games anyway. And, during that time, he had something personal he had to deal with, and they just coincided. Okay, fine. You can say that too. But again, when you leave the void, it's going to get filled with skepticism and questions from the people on the outside. For the first time this year, in this 10-day stretch, they've started to talk about we've got to be smarter with his minutes. We've got to use him different ways. I don't think entering this season, I thought that we're watching LeBron James' final season in the NBA. But as it's unfolding, more and more people seem to think we might be doing that. Do you have a sense, are we watching the last season of LeBron? I don't know. I really don't. Based on the way he played in the Olympics over the summer, you would not think that would be the case. And even the way he started the year for the Lakers. Now you get into a little stretch where maybe he's been dealing with some things physically that he hasn't been trying to admit publicly, and his production has gone down, and he's starting to finally look as if he's about to be 40, which he will be in a couple of weeks here on December 30th. So, yeah, I mean, it could be. But I just think LeBron, again, this is me totally guesstimating here based on how long he's been in the league and, my few interactions with him. I could see him doing a farewell tour, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like most of these other, we knew it was Kobe's last year. We knew it was Jordan's last year. You go through you pretty much knew it was everyone's last year. And here's the thing. He deserves a farewell tour. around the NBA. So I can't see him going out the way he's going right now. I see him coming back for one more year, and maybe hopefully Bronny is on the big squad full time next year, and LeBron can be there for that entire thing, and then he goes out as his son tries to continue his NBA career. That would make the most sense for him to come back for one more year.
This weekend, Heisman Trophy ceremony, Travis Hunter wins it. He becomes the first full-time defensive player to win it since Charlie Ward did it. Charles Woodson, I'm sorry. Since Charles Woodson did it. That one was controversial. This one felt less controversial. The right guy won the Heisman Trophy, didn't he?
I believe.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. It's like most outstanding college player or college player. He's the best football player in college football, okay? And so if that's the case, who should get the most prestigious trophy should be that guy. I've always believed that. And that's why I thought that so many people who've won it did not deserve it, only because of the position they played or the team they played on, right? There have been several defensive players that should have gotten way more consideration to be in the top 2 or 3 on that list in the Heisman voting. So he got it. But to be fair, Ashton Genty's season pretty much any other year would have warranted him winning it as well. I mean, he may break Barry Sanders' rushing record, and Barry Sanders won the Heisman, but Ashton Genty won't. But Barry Sanders didn't also be in a class that had Travis Hunter, who would have been, here's the thing, Travis Hunter would have been a top 5 pick if he only played one of the 2 positions that he plays at Colorado. That's how great he is. He is a generational talent. We may not see anything like him in the next 15 to 20 years. So the right guy got it, even if history of the award suggests that maybe Ashton Genty should have gotten it instead.
I was in studio Saturday night, so I missed the ceremony live. But by the time I got back to my hotel and settled in, you guys were re-airing it. And I just was like, oh, I'll watch this. And I saw Travis Hunter, and I was almost in tears watching this guy's speech in the middle of the night in a hotel room by myself. Does he have a reputation as like a impressive young man? Because I don't even have a favorite NFL team, but like there was something about that night where I was like, I can root for this guy pretty easily. The way he was talking to his father through the television, all of it, I just thought was really sweet.
Here's the thing. For anyone who's had any interaction with this young man whatsoever, it's hard for you not to root for him and almost impossible to root against him.
Yeah.
So much of the criticism and let's even say, social media hate that this young man has received stems from the way people feel about Deion Sanders, quite honestly. That's really where it comes from, because he has done nothing to warrant any criticism or hate from the time he entered Jackson State to the time now that he spent in Colorado. Nothing. Any of that criticism is about people who hate on Deion Sanders for whatever reason. So anything relative to Deion has to catch some of it, as collateral damage. The young man is impressive, and he's a really good student. He's a really good student. His GPA is almost 4, if not 4.0, right? But where he plays and the coach that he has catches him some heat that he certainly does not deserve. And you saw that full display of his personality, how he was excited, thinking his dad, his mom was there, the appreciation he showed for Deion Sanders. He's literally what you want in a young man, especially a college athlete representing a program. He's literally what you want, but then some people just want to hate it because they don't like who leads the program.
The moment he had with Lil Wayne, I thought was just like,
right?
It was just, the whole thing was just great. I would encourage anybody who didn't see it, go back and watch it. Like you said, he'd be easy to root for. He continues to say he plans to play both sides of the ball in the NFL. People continue to say he's not going to. I'm sure along the way, folks said Shohei Ohtani can't do what he's doing. And I wonder, with Travis Hunter, are people saying you can't do that because you can't do it? Or are they saying you can't do it because we just haven't seen anybody else really do it?
I'd say it's the latter, because we all kind of make our decisions, or we should make our decisions based on experience, right? And in the NFL, it just hasn't been done. I mean, Charles Woodson did it a little bit. Champ Bailey did it a little bit. Travis Hunter wants to do it a lot of it, right? And here's the thing. I can see him doing it. I can't see him lining up for every single snap on both sides of the ball. I mean, that is a different ask in the NFL compared to college. But if he's out there in nickel situations, or he's out there in, 4-receiver set situations, you can do that, and there are multiple opportunities for that to happen during the course of an NFL game, right? So if I'm him and that's part of his identity, what he wants to do, that's got to be the conversations you're having at the combine and with these team meetings. I want to play both. Even if it's not every snap, I want to be out there for the majority of the snaps on both sides of the ball. What about your system enables me to do that? That's a legit question for him, because beyond him being a success in the NFL, it also could add a new little marketing program for him the same way that Bo Jackson had it, right? Bo Jackson can do everything. Well, if Travis Hunter can do these two things, he can literally be the next Bo Jackson, but he's doing it in the same sport as opposed to multiple sports.
Elsewhere in college football, I haven't talked to you since it became official. Bill Belichick is now the head coach at North Carolina. Some people are very skeptical that this is going to go well, considering he's 72 years old and has never worked on a college campus. Others are a little more enthusiastic that if you surround him with the right people and get him the right roster, it can actually work. Do you have an opinion strong either way?
I think it could work for sure, just because he's a really great football coach. If you can coach football, you can coach football.
Right.
But then if you're smart enough to surround yourself with people who know the things that you don't know, that puts you in a position to be even more successful. His son knows quite a bit about college football. That will help him. But also, you think about all the other contacts that he has across the landscape. He's been to college campuses over the last couple of years since he left New England, talking to coaches. So he's got a pretty good idea of people he would want to bring into his program. And he brings instant cachet to that program, right? And so all these younger players, they know who Bill Belichick is. They know that he was a coach that led Tom Brady, or he and Tom Brady led the Patriots to multiple championships in New England. So they already know that. So that right there gives them instant cachet going into the season, similar to what Deion did to Colorado. It does. And ESPN and CBS Sports and Yahoo, we're going to be looking at North Carolina going into next season the same way we're looking at Deion going to Colorado. They're going to get so much attention. And with that comes better players. So it could work. Now, will he stay there throughout the 5 years of his contract that he's 72? You can make that argument that it might not happen, but get it and started and maybe then hand it off to his son, that makes a lot of sense.
In the NFL, Patrick Mahomes left yesterday's Chiefs game with an ankle injury. Andy Reid afterwards said it's injured, not broken. Still, he's considered week to week, and they're in this weird stretch where they've got 3 games in 11 days.
Insane.
Could this be the type of thing that, and it was insane even before this happened, now exactly. it could cost them, well, let me ask you, could this cost them home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have a 2-game lead now.
Yeah, they'd have to really fall apart.
Right, on the Bills, based on the Bills losing not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before that. So that kind of helped them get a little cushion there. I just see them still winning based on the teams they have to play.
Right.
There's them. And here's the thing. He said he could have played the rest of the game yesterday if he really needed to. If he was in a playoff game or something that mattered, he would have been out there, right? So you do get a little bit of time. It's really not the next game. It's the time between their next game and Christmas Day that is the issue. And so if you are Andy Reid and the Chiefs, you're like, all right, what's more important over these next 11 days? This game or this game? Do we give him as much time as possible to get fully healed and play Christmas Day and skip the game in between? You can make a strong argument for that, because even if they lose these 2 games, it's not going to matter. What's really going to matter is once they get to the playoffs, and you need your best player in his best condition, because at times they've not looked great this year, even though they continue to win. You want to give your team the best chance of winning, and it needs 100% Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, if they slip up and struggle in the absence of Mahomes, if he does miss time, the Bills seem to be best positioned to maybe take advantage of that. Massive win yesterday. Josh Allen throws for nearly 400 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. I know it's not settled yet, but you do a Twitter search for Josh Allen and MVP, you get a whole bunch of hits on it. He's looking that he looks the part right now.
Gary, it's settled.
Yeah, okay.
It's settled. He's getting it.
Yeah.
I really couldn't think of what could happen these next 3 games that he does not get that award at the end. And his next closest rival to winning the award, Saquon Barkley, had 66 yards or 65 yards yesterday. His lowest output in about 6 or 7, maybe 8 games, right? So in that regard, he even has more cushion than he did, 2 weeks ago over the guy that's probably going to end up in second. What he has done this year has been nothing short of remarkable, both running the football, passing the football, leading that team to victory, going into Detroit. And Detroit was giving up only 18 points a game going into that game yesterday. That was second best in the league, tied for second best in the league. They almost gave up 50 to Buffalo. And Josh Allen had 4 touchdowns, 2 running, 2 passing, right? He is that guy. and he's clearly the MVP. Like these last, I'd say 3-4 weeks is where he's really separated himself from the pack. Couple weeks ago, I would have said maybe Saquon deserves as much as Josh Allen, but not right now. It's Josh Allen's award to give it to.
That is Michael Eaves from ESPN. Make sure you're watching him on SportsCenter. Following him on X at Michael Eaves. That's at Michael Eaves. Thank you for your time. Good luck this weekend in the CBS Sports Classic. I'm going to be inside the Garden, Kentucky against Ohio State on Saturday. Quite a season. I think I'm going to sit down with your basketball coach, but later on this week. He'd be the national coach of the year right now.
100%. Go Cats, and Pope is hope.
Pope is hope. Michael Eaves, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Michael Eaves from ESPN. We come back, turn our attention to college basketball. Memphis, big win on Saturday inside Little John. That's a quadrant 1 win. When they recorded it, it was their 4th quadrant 1 win of the season. And then last night, Bennett, while you were sleeping, guess what happened? Memphis picked up another quadrant 1 win because San Francisco moved into the top 50 of the net rankings, given that Memphis owns a neutral court win over the Dons. That's a quadrant 1 win now. 5 for Memphis. Nobody has more. Only Auburn has as many. Good stuff for the Tigers. We'll talk about that next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping.
It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
We're going to need, the form rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane 3, yes sir! Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
How about them Tigers? Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizzlies are just having fun out there tonight. Morant around a screen. Bumped by Wagner. No look to Smart. Lays it up on the window and in. And it is all Grizz. The Grizzlies have the fans on their feet at FedEx Forum.
Get the squad together for this year's Junior Grizzlies 3-on-3 tournament, presented by 2K at the Built Ford Tough practice facility inside FedEx Forum. On Saturday, January 4th, teams will compete in 3 games before advancing to single elimination play. Overall winners from the 10 and under, 12 and under, and 14 and under divisions will win Grizzlies tickets, including exclusive access to the pregame team shoot-around before the Grizz take on the Pelicans January 24th. Sign up today at hoopitup.com/Grizzlies.
I can't wait to see what your number one. If that's your number 2.
Number 1 for me.
Come on, man.
I listen to the Bells, Luther Vandross. I love Luther Vandross's Christmas album.
I gotta go back and listen to that one, man. I'm sure I've heard it.
To the Bells and they made me remember. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning into HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either, and that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Final score, Memphis 87, Clemson 82. It's a big victory for Penny Hardaway's Tigers. They went to Little John Coliseum, a place where not even Mark Pope's Kentucky Wildcats could win earlier this season, and defeated the Tigers to move back into the CBS Sports Top 25 and 1. Bennett, Memphis is number 21. Will you accept that?
I will absolutely accept that. I'm very glad to see that their AP comes out today, right?
Be out about an hour and 20 minutes or so. So we'll be gone probably by the time the AP poll comes out.
But they'll be in it.
Barring a surprise, the Tigers should return to the AP poll after a 1-week absence following last Sunday's disappointing loss at home to Arkansas State. Penny Hardaway tried to tell us. Ben, if you just listen, Penny Hardaway tried to tell us. If you would just listen, Penny Hardaway tried to tell us, we're fine. That's not my team that lost to Arkansas State. This is not like last season's team. We're fine. That's just something that happened. Wish it wouldn't have happened. Hope it never happens again. But we're going to be fine. He tried to tell us, if you would just listen, you could have saved yourself a lot of stress last week.
Yeah, for sure. And I was stressed. I mean, because the big thing was, I thought that they were going to bounce back and be super competitive in this game against Clemson. But you could still do that and lose that game because that's against a really quality opponent on a true, road environment. So for them to get the win, especially after going to overtime, I was fired up about it. And Tyrese Hunter, I thought, dude, I was like, there's no chance he has another bad game like that. Like back-to-back just bad games. There's no way he's going to do that, and he did not. He was awesome.
In all seriousness, I told you last week I went down to Ole Miss, and I was sitting with Chris Beard, and we were talking about a million things other than Memphis, but at some point it was like, so you guys got Memphis on the 28th. Have you seen them? And he was like, they're going to be fine. This was, a couple days after they just lost at home to Arkansas State.
Yep.
He's like, they'll be fine. And I was like, oh, he's like, they have Tyrese Hunter. I coach Tyrese Hunter. As long as he's the guy leading them or one of the guys leading them, they'll be fine because he won't let it go the wrong way. He's made of the right stuff. I like it when guys who used to coach players don't badmouth them behind the scenes. Like Chris Beard wasn't telling me that so that I would come say it into a microphone. He was just talking about somebody that he spent time with, somebody that he's coached, somebody he's been in the gym with. He said, I'm just telling you, that dude's made of the right stuff. He will not let this season go the wrong way on them. And then he comes through on Saturday at Clemson, gets 23 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and leads Memphis to what was the biggest win of the season to date, and could theoretically end up going down as the biggest win of the season before the NCAA tournament because they're not going to have opportunities anywhere else to get a road win, the quality of that road win. So it's all good stuff now. I've moved Memphis back into the top 25 and 1, up to number 21. They're up to 30th in the net. In most computers, they're in the 30s. But they do have a really strong strength of record metric. And that's just a snapshot of here's everything you've done the wins, the losses, where these games have played. Everything is included in this. If we were ranking accomplishments in this season, I guess maybe that's perhaps not the best way to put it, but I think one that will help folks understand. If we were just ranking accomplishments, it's December 16th, and we're just ranking accomplishments in this season, they think Memphis has the 7th best resume in the country right now. That's what strength of record would suggest on some level. So it's a byproduct in part of them being 5-1 now in Quadrant 1. Now, they do have the Quadrant 3 loss to Arkansas State, and that's probably always going to be a Quadrant 3 loss because Arkansas State is
maybe.
It's just they've got to go.
They've got some bad losses on their schedule. That's their problem.
Well, Arkansas State would have to really move pretty significantly in the net to flip that loss to them into a Quadrant 2. Arkansas State, by the way, beat UAB yesterday.
They are horrible, dude.
UAB can't beat anybody.
They're bad.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that.
Arkansas State was down 27 points to UAB in the second half a week after beating Memphis inside FedEx Forum and came back, won the game. It's the largest comeback in a Division I men's college basketball game in like 6 years.
Wow.
And it moved Arkansas State to 119th in the net. For that to ever be a Quadrant 2 loss, they've got to get all the way up to 75.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough for them to get to 75.
Yep.
So that's probably always going to be a Quadrant 3 loss. Nothing you can do about it now except try to offset it with good victories. And they did that this weekend. They picked up 2 Quadrant 1 victories this weekend by playing one game. Memphis did. They win at Clemson. Everybody knows that's a Quadrant 1. So they wake up on Saturday morning just to walk you through this. They have 3 Quadrant 1 wins, which was one behind Auburn and Oregon for second most in the country. They win at Clemson on the road. That's another Quadrant 1 win. They go to 4. Then yesterday, San Francisco beat Loyola Chicago on a neutral court in Milwaukee, and San Francisco goes from 52 in the net to 45 in the net. So outside of the top 50 to inside of the top 50. Well, suddenly Memphis has a neutral court win over San Francisco. Neutral court win over a team in the top 50 is Quadrant 1. So Memphis, while you and I were sleeping last night and the net was refreshing, picked up a 5th Quadrant 1 victory. So right now, Memphis and Auburn both have 5 Quadrant 1 victories. And as Jason Munz pointed out on Twitter this morning, nobody else in the country has more than 3.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the thing too, I've kind of, we said before the stretch started, I was like, man, I'll take 2-2. Honestly, after getting that one, I'm like, God, go 3-1 over this stretch because that's the hardest one is that one at Clemson. You would think, just because it's a road game. I think it would be a little deflating to, and you talked about this a little last week, to win this one at Clemson and then maybe get one against a Virginia team that's not as good as they typically have been, but then drop the 2 Mississippi ones. Like, you want to get one of those for sure.
For sure. Now I think you do want to go 3-1.
Yeah.
You don't. You're going to be favored at Virginia.
Yep.
You just will. It's still, it's John Paul Jones Arena and it's still Virginia, but it's not Tony Bennett and it's not Kyle Guy and DeAndre Hunter. Like this team, if you can get Virginia out of your head, this team's not very good. And this coach is an interim coach who's, I say this respectfully, but never really accomplished anything as a head coach.
Yeah, I got you.
So, like, you should go win this game. And then, honestly, come home and at that point get greedy if you want to. But also, if you just split with the Mississippi schools, they're both ranked.
They're both good.
They're both good. You'd feel really good coming out of that. And if you were to win these next 3, now we're talking about how many in a row can you get? Because you ready for this? Go to KenPom right now. Trivia time.
Okay.
When is the next time Memphis will be an underdog in a game, according to current KenPom projections?
And this includes these upcoming games.
Yep.
I mean, dude, are they going to be an underdog?
No.
At all? No. Yeah, they're not going to be an underdog in any game the rest of the season.
Based on current projections.
Right.
They will not be an underdog in any game.
There's no AAC game that they would be even on the road.
Based on current projections, the last time they should be an underdog before the NCAA tournament was Saturday's game at Clemson.
Yeah. And for me, that's why getting especially one of the Mississippi schools a win there, because that's likely, because they're both good, going to stay a quad one, you would think, for a long time. And you just want to give yourself, listen, I want them to destroy this horrible conference, but you want to give yourself a cushion for if you lose a road game at Tulane or something like that.
Well, I mean,
you know
that's
what I mean?
why, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, even Matt Norlander last night or 2 nights ago on the On College Basketball podcast was like, I'm just about ready to call Memphis a lock. And I'm like, it's December 16th.
That's right. And we saw what happened. I know it's a different team.
Memphis was ranked 10th in the country in January.
And I think this team is completely different and more resilient than that team. But still, we saw last season.
I do not remind you of that to warn you of what I believe is going to happen. I remind you of that to remind you that don't start thinking you've done so much that it can't be undone.
Right.
It can be undone. It was later in the calendar last season, and you were better.
Yes.
And you still could undo it with one terrible loss after another in this terrible league. So it can still be undone. That's very important to remember. All of these things are true. Memphis has as many quadrant one wins right now as anybody in the country, and more than everybody except for Auburn. And Auburn is ranked number 1 in most of the computers. If you screw up too many times in your league, you can still miss the NCAA tournament. All of that's true. So this can still be undone if it goes the wrong way, but I don't think it's going to go the wrong way.
I don't either.
I think the league, first and foremost, is worse. And that's not even an opinion. It's worse. It is. It's fact.
Yeah, it's
the
terrible.
league is worse than it was last year, if only because Dusty May is no longer in the league. All right?
And SMU left,
South Florida's coach literally died.
Yeah, that's true. God, I forgot about that.
So the league's not as good, and you might be better. And you might just be made of some different stuff. And you got these guards, and they're maybe the best three-point shooting backcourt in basketball, which was another story on Saturday. They did it again.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, kudos to those guys.
They're
but nobody saw it coming.
Memphis was 12 of 25 from 3.
Yeah.
All right? They're now shooting 44.3% from beyond the arc on the season. That ranks 2nd in the entire country. I keep telling you this isn't going to hold up, and then it just keeps holding up.
It's right. Yeah.
I still think it won't eventually. But we're we're about a third through the regular season, and they're the second best three-point shooting team in the country.
Yep.
At least as it pertains to at the rate at which they make the ones that they take. And it is mostly those 3 guards. They are all shooting career-high percentages from 3. P.J. Haggerty shot 28.9% from 3 last season at Tulsa. He's up to 39.4% this season. So he's up 10.5 percentage points this season. Tyrese Hunter shot 34.3% from 3 last season at Texas. He's up to 51.6 from 3 this season. He's up 17.3 percentage points. And then Colby Rogers shot 40.9% from 3 last season at Wichita State. He's up to 44.6% this season. He's up 3.7 percentage points. So Memphis' 3 starting guards on the season are 70 of 151 from 3. That's 46.4%.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Colby Rogers, too, become more of like an established scorer in that starting lineup. At least you saw it in that game. Like, I think that's going to be important, too, where you're not just relying on those 2 guys in Haggerty and Tyrese Hunter. Like, I feel like you need another guy that's a big scoring threat.
When you have 3 dudes who are knocking down shots at this rate from the perimeter on the court for much of the game, like, that's hard to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, that's really hard to deal with. There was nothing in the history of these players that suggest this was coming. That's why I continue to assume it'll regress to the means at some point, but it hasn't yet.
Nah.
And, I still believe it will. Again, right now they're at 46.3. Just let me give you some context here on exactly how ridiculous that is. Last season, Kentucky led the country in 3-point field goal percentage at 40.9, and they had Reed Shepherd and Rob Dillingham. All right?
Yeah.
And they shot 40.9% from three. That led the country. Right now, Memphis is like 3 percentage points better than that. So I do think it's going to come back. But at some point, you have to acknowledge what you're watching, and that's these guards delivering one game after another. They're not all shooting brilliantly every game, but as a team, they are shooting well more often than not. And it really does start with those three guards. Fun team. Fun season so far.
That was awesome.
I know it got easy for some Memphis fans to get down after the loss to Arkansas State. I understand it, but that was a massive bounce back thing that they had Saturday. Now Wednesday night, you're at Virginia, and then it's Ole Miss and Mississippi State on back-to-back weekends. If you can really win these next three, and I think just go 2-1 in the next three and you're still fine, but win the next three, and now we can start talking about, if you can run through the AAC, I mean, we're talking about, can you compete for a 1 seed? Can you compete for a 2 seed? Can you compete for a 3 seed? Because, again, they've already got 5 quadrant 1 wins. They've proven themselves against quality competition and position themselves to not only make the NCAA tournament, but get a pretty high seed as long as they don't give it back once that AAC schedule arrives.
Number 2.
Elsewhere in college basketball, it was a great weekend for the SEC. That league went 13-1 on Saturday. Among the highlights, Tennessee went to Illinois and won to remain undefeated, number 1 in the top 25 and won, and should remain number 1 in the AP poll later on today. Auburn blasted Ohio State by 38 points on a neutral court. 38 points on a neutral court. That's an Ohio State team that was ranked earlier this season. Kentucky in a rivalry game against Louisville, 93-85. Florida played Arizona State, blasted them, 83-66. That's an Arizona State team that I had in the top 25 and 1 entering the weekend. Had gone to Gonzaga, played the Zags in the Kennel and only lost by 8. Got on a neutral court with Florida, got blown out. Florida still undefeated, beating everybody by double digits. Texas A&M went to Indianapolis, played Purdue. That's your preseason Big Ten projected champs. Beat them in their home state, 70-66. The only loss for the SEC on the weekend was LSU losing to SMU. But right now, what we might really be watching is the best men's basketball conference in the history of the sport.
So I'm looking at the standings. Like literally, there's only one team that might be bad, and that's South Carolina.
And they're still 68th at KenPom.
Yeah, like they had a horrible loss to start the season to North Florida, but their other 2 losses are to ranked teams. So yeah, dude, the league's insane.
The league is insane. Like and it's not comparable, but in the AAC, Memphis is 34th at KenPom, and second place would be North Texas at 67. Everybody in the SEC, the entire league, is in the top 68. South Carolina would be 1 spot below North Texas. So if you were trying to figure out, combine the AAC and the SEC, you would get Memphis mixed in with the entire SEC, and then you wouldn't get another AAC school until you got to North Texas, and they would be down there at the bottom by South Carolina. The league is incredible. They're taking care of business every week, almost no bad losses for anybody. And that's why there's a growing sentiment in the sport that the SEC is going to break the record for bids to an NCAA tournament.
I was just going to ask
you. It's 11.
You.
The record's 11, 2011, the Big East.
Okay, that makes sense.
So here's some numbers to provide context to make you understand just how the SEC is operating at a ridiculous level right now. I just told you the Big East got 11 NCAA tournament teams in 2011. That year, they had 10 top 40 KenPom teams, but only one of the top 8, and actually had 4 teams outside of the top 70. Right now, the SEC has 12 top 40 KenPom teams, including the top 2. That's Tennessee and Auburn. They've got 4 of the top 8 and nobody lower than 68. So even that old Big East had 4 outside of the top 70. SEC right now, 0 outside of the top 70. Big East back then, only 1 of the top 8. SEC right now, 4 of the top 8. Big East back then, 10 of the top 40. SEC right now, 12 of the top 40. They're going to get 12 or 13 teams in the NCAA tournament. Could have 2 number 1 seeds. Could put 3, maybe even. There's nothing you could imagine about the SEC that isn't reasonable to assume. Could they put multiple teams in the Final Four, 3 teams in the Final Four? Like, everything is on the table.
No, because I'm looking, like, the only team you would leave out is South Carolina. Like, just right now, if you just look at it, though, there's only one team that you would say, okay, that's probably not an NCAA tournament team, and that's it.
How about this? I think every coach in the SEC, except for Lamont Parrish at South Carolina, can hold a team meeting today and say, guys, we're in position to make the NCAA tournament, and we're good enough to do it. I think every coach in the SEC can have that conversation with his team except for Lamont Parrish at South Carolina. Nobody else in the league has lost more than 2 games so far. It's crazy. I know it sounds hyperbolic. It really might be the best league in the history of the sport. It is far and away right now ahead of both the Big Ten and the Big 12. Preseason conversation was, can the SEC replace the Big 12 as the best league in the country? That's no longer the conversation. That's done. Now the conversation is, can the SEC be the best league ever? And it's on pace. It's on pace to do it. Okay. On pace to do it.
Number 3.
More reporting this weekend on the CEO killer.
Oh, what's up?
Luigi Mangione. We did get confirmation this weekend that his mother reached out to the FBI. Between the time his face was first shown on national television and the time he was arrested in Pennsylvania, she called the FBI, and you know what she said? She said, "Hi, FBI. I think you're looking for my son."
Okay.
Would you make that phone call?
Why would she think that they're looking for his son? Oh, did this happen after the
because
killing?
Because she saw the same picture we saw, and she said, that looks like my son. Would you make that phone call?
I mean, so we know that he was estranged from his family.
The whole thing is sad that nobody in his family had talked to him since July. They reported him missing. Like, finally, we're like, okay, nobody can get in touch with Luigi.
Yeah.
They reported him missing, I believe, November 18th. And, and then you know what happened next.
I would like to say that I wouldn't make that phone call. But, again, you haven't talked to your son in a long time. And now this is all happening. Like, I think you would you don't want him to get killed, like to die. You know,
What do you want? What do you want? What do you think? I can't even imagine. Can you imagine?
You know what I mean?
Can you imagine you haven't talked to your son? Can you imagine you raise a child?
Yeah.
Think about what this family is going through. I don't know enough about them to know everything exactly how I should feel, but on a surface level, I feel sick for these people.
I do too.
You raise a young man. He's the valedictorian. He gets into an Ivy League school.
Yeah.
You're probably bragging about him to all your friends. Oh, little Luigi, he's the valedictorian. Oh, he got into Penn.
Mm-hmm.
He's an Ivy League grad. He has 2 degrees. And then something happens at the age of 26, and you have no relationship with him anymore. Nobody can get in touch with him. And you're concerned, but after a while, it's just like, well, I guess he'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he'll be okay. But you don't really know. But you're just sort of like, he'll probably be okay, because most people are. And then you turn on the news one day and they're looking for this person who just shot and murdered a CEO of United Healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see that same picture the whole world is seeing, you go, I think that's my son. Can you imagine?
No.
Woo!
Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy.
Woo!
Man, that's heavy.
So then you go, she called the FBI. She said, I think you're looking for my son. I think that's my son. So we know
that was the tip.
Well, it was just I don't think she's the only person who tipped him off.
I
think what we'll find out is multiple people said, I think I know who that is. I grew up with that guy. I went to school with that guy. I used to date that guy. You're going to have some of that, I bet you. But the mom, we do know, called the FBI and said, I think that's my son. So they had his name before he was spotted at McDonald's. He also changed lawyers, hired a high-profile attorney this weekend. You see this?
Mm-hmm.
Karen Friedman Agnifilo.
That sounds good.
Karen Friedman Agnifilo. She used to be a district attorney. Now she's a defense attorney. She's taken on the case of Luigi Mangione. She is married to an attorney named Mark Agnifilo. Guess who he's representing right now?
Who?
Diddy.
Oh my God! This is high profile.
What do you think?
Wow! What do you think they talk about at the dinner table?
I don't think legally they're allowed to.
They're probably not.
Except
You're right.
they do have that husband-wife spousal thing going on. I don't really know. I'm not an attorney. Do I look like an attorney? I'm not an attorney. But I bet you if they were willing to, they could have some really interesting conversations.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're
having those conversations. Stop.
You always hear doctors and lawyers, and they're all prohibited from having conversations.
Yeah, confidentiality. What is it?
Could you really not have them?
Absolutely not.
I'd be wanting to talk about stuff.
Hell yeah.
I think I'd be wanting to talk about stuff. I don't think I'd be a good therapist.
Dude.
Because you'd come talk to me, I'd be your therapist, and then I'd go home, and my wife would be like, so what's going on today? And I'd be like, man, you would not believe what this crazy person told me today.
Okay, so
I wouldn't be able to help myself, I don't think. I would not be a good therapist.
One of my friends, he were not in this city, but he works at a hospital, and like, dude, he has shown me some wild stuff.
See what I'm talking about?
Yes. I've seen some wild stuff.
I don't assume.
I don't think that I think that confidentiality thing, that's just something people say. They're talking.
I think they're talking.
They're talking, yeah.
I think they're talking.
You can't keep that stuff to yourself, the stuff that they see.
I don't think I could.
This man sent me a picture of someone with a hammer stuck in their head.
How'd the hammer get in the head?
I don't know. Isn't that crazy?
I think it is crazy to have a hammer stuck in your head. I do think
they lived. There was a hammer stuck in their head, and they lived.
I don't think I'd want to live if somebody stuck a hammer in my head.
Isn't that wild? Yeah, they're talking.
They're
talking. You can't bottle that stuff up. You got to tell people.
Imagine you get home and it's like, all right, the kids have homework. We got to get the kids' homework done. I'm sorry I'm running late. I've been with Diddy all day. And she's like, oh, honey, it's cool. I've been with Luigi all day. What a life they're living. Put a reality camera on them.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Did you see the Disney Bop concert this weekend?
What happened at the Disney Bop?
It's a Bop to the Top concert.
Where was this?
Wherever they do it. Disney-themed dance party.
Yeah.
So they have DJs come out and they play songs and kids dance to it. And whatever.
Yeah.
You get the point. So there's one that went viral this weekend.
Oh, no.
Some DJ's playing Hannah Montana's "He Could Be the One," and in the back they're just showing pictures of Luigi for the kids.
What? What do you mean?
Okay. Imagine I'm singing Hannah Montana's, or I'm playing Hannah Montana's "He Could Be the One."
Yes.
And all the kids are singing along because they know the song, and they're dancing, they're bopping, because that's what you do at a Bop to the Top. You just bop to the top.
Yeah.
So they're bopping along. And in the background, maybe they would be showing pictures of Hannah Montana on the big screen, or perhaps, something other than accused murderers. But the DJ decided to put just every picture on the internet of Luigi she could find on the screen behind her while they were playing "He Could Be the One." And when asked for an explanation, she said, sometimes you got to give the people what they want.
Still employed?
As of yesterday, she was, but
Okay,
I don't know if you're going to be able to keep your job under these circumstances.
No, that's tough.
They're really celebrating Luigi still.
Oh, I know.
Except
I know.
I went to the murder scene. Does that make me weird, by the way?
What do you mean you went to the murder scene?
I mean, I walked to the murder scene.
Oh, yeah, you were there. Okay.
I was there, and
you went and stood there. Is it marked off? Is there any?
No, it's unremarkable in the sense that you wouldn't even know. Like, I felt like as I was at the murder scene, I looked around and I was like, I'm the only one who seems to know that this is the murder scene. Nobody else is.
There's not people there like
there
taking
was
pictures
nothing.
and stuff?
As I look back on it, I go, what did I expect? I don't know what I expected.
Right.
But I didn't expect it. If I would have walked that exact walk 1 month ago, it would have felt the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that I expect it to feel different, except it just was, I noticed, wow, this is the biggest story in the world for the past 2 weeks. It happened right here, and nobody's here. Nobody cares. Am I weird? If I felt weird, and then when I told the story to Jessica, she made me feel weirder.
That you went there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I went out of my way. I'm talking about, it's like when I leave the studio to walk to my car to go home today, it was a shorter walk from my hotel to the murder scene. I didn't go out of my way.
I would have checked it out.
I just wanted to check it.
Yeah.
I just want to see the walk.
Yeah.
But Jess made me feel like I was weird.
I don't think that's weird. I mean, people go see the JFK assassination site every day.
Every day.
Every single day.
Now, the argument would be that John F. Kennedy was a president and this was just a healthcare CEO. But my point was, this is now an infamous murder. This is a murder that we will all now remember for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And it happened right there less than 2 weeks ago, about a 90-second walk.
Did you take a selfie?
No.
Okay.
No videos, no cameras, no pictures, no nothing.
Oh, I would have.
Okay, well, I would know.
So I can show my friends and family, like, look, hey, I was there. Here's
well, that's
the site.
What I expected to see. I expected to see people taking pictures, or a news crew doing a stand-up, or some amateur documentary crew. Like, so I expected to see something, and it was nothing.
Okay.
There was nothing there. They just cleaned up the body and the blood, and they just kept on with their day. That's what it looked like to me. I don't know what I was expecting.
I got you.
I wasn't expecting nothing, but I got it. Anyway, that's everything I know about Luigi. That's the update.
That's it.
He's got a new attorney.
Yeah.
He's popular at the Bop to the Tops, and the murder scene is all cleaned up, and nobody seems to care anymore. That's all I know. That's everything I know about Luigi.
Okay. I bet this ain't the last you're gonna hear about Luigi.
I hope not.
Nah, this thing's gonna get juicy. It is. It's gonna get juicy. And as someone who's dealing with back pain right now, I can understand how to radicalize you.
Bennett?
I can understand how to radicalize you.
Don't let me report you.
No, I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be radicalized.
If I ever see that beard on the news, I wouldn't turn. I don't know if I would turn.
I wouldn't turn you in either.
Okay, I don't think I would turn you in.
Now, the good people at Ortho South are taking care of me right now, but that back pain ain't no joke, dude.
Bennett, you know what Luigi went through.
I kind of know what he went through. I can understand how it would radicalize you, the back pain.
You're starting to understand.
Yeah.
If you buy a 3D printer.
I won't.
If you buy a 3D printer, we're going to have to talk.
I'm gonna get mine gone. Now his was off of like a pretty bad injury. Mine was like I bent over wrong or something. Yeah. So I think I can get rid of it, but we'll see.
If you buy a 3D printer, I'm gonna have to talk to you.
Okay.
Don't do that.
I promise I won't.
All right.
Number 4.
We now know what Mike Norvell's terrible season at Florida State cost him. Exactly $4.5 million. He announced he's giving it back. This is the byproduct of revenue sharing coming to college sports.
Oh, okay.
Universities are starting to ask their football coaches who are struggling to give back some money.
Okay.
They're doing it with Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State, and now Mike Norvell at Florida State. Would you give the money back? Because think about this. Here's the way I would think about it. What do I gain by giving back $4.5 million? What do I actually gain? If I'm bad next season, you're going to fire me no matter what.
That's right.
If I'm good next season, you're going to keep me no matter what. So why am I handing you back $4.5 million that you owe me?
I think that maybe the only reason would be because it kind of you would think maybe it puts you in the good graces of your fan base heading into next season after a bad year. But I mean, you lose the opener, like,
you ready for this?
You know.
You can give the money back. If you lose, they're going to hate you.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
You can keep the money, and if you win, they're going to love you. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I'd say F you if I was Mike.
I think I would too.
I'd say pay me my money.
I think I would say you just owe me what you owe me. If you want to fire me, there's a clause in the contract that allows you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not just going to give you $4.5 million back when I know you can fire me in 10 months if you want to.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it.
And me giving this money back won't prevent you from firing me if I'm not good. And me keeping this money won't cause you to like, it has no impact. If I'm good next season, you'll keep me. If I'm bad next season, you'll fire me. And what I do with this $4.5 million will have no impact on it whatsoever. I think I'd keep my money, Bennett.
Yeah, I mean, folks in the chat are making the point that you're giving back the money to be able to buy players, which makes sense.
Let the
Yeah, I'd put that on Florida State.
Yeah.
You figure out how to get play. That's my money.
Yeah, that's my money.
Yeah, y'all are a big time, NIL school. You figure out how to get players.
Yeah. You know, they're not making Kirby Smart get back $4.5 million to get players.
Right.
This is money. Hey, we negotiated all of this. This is the contract. This is what you owe me. I'm going to take the money that you owe me.
Yeah.
If I thought, hey, if I give back $4.5 million, you'll guarantee that I'm the coach on opening day 2026. Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
But right now I'm just giving back $4.5 million. You can still fire me whenever you want to fire me. I'll keep my money. But, I'll let Mike make his own decisions. I'll let Mike make his own decisions.
Number 5.
Titans lost again yesterday, Bennett. 37-27 to the Bengals at home in Nashville. Mason Rudolph.
He finished the game.
Will Levis was 8 of 12, 89 yards, 3 interceptions. Are we done with this?
Okay, so some good and some bad. The good is that they took another loss, and they're right there now. Like you can finish this thing out as far as trying to get that number 1 pick. You're rooting for the Raiders, who are at 2 losses. You're rooting for the Giants, who are at 2 losses, and then you're tied with a couple teams for 3 losses. So we're rooting for L's. We're trying to get that number 1 pick. The other good thing is, like, I've known for a while, it's obvious he's not an NFL quarterback, Will Levis. Like, you cannot start the season with him as your quarterback next year. That he has shown literally nothing all season long to suggest he is an NFL quarterback. So I'm feeling good about that. The thing that's a little worrisome is that they're not a good team. I'm not sure Brian Callahan's a good coach. I think you probably give him another year with, like, his quarterback, whoever they go get. But I think the leash is short there. And man, you talk about, like, people not caring. No one's going to the games. There was Bengals fans there yesterday, but they're in the weirdest spot, I think, going forward, the Titans franchise are, because you've kind of lost, like, interest from your diehards, and you got that new stadium that's opening in a couple years, and Nashville's about to be, like, if it's not like the biggest tourist destination in the South now, with that new stadium where, like, every big event in the world's coming to, it's going to be even more. Like, dude, I don't think they're going to have Titans fans anymore. I think it's going to be, at best, a split of Titans fans and the other team's fans in that new stadium going forward.
I think a lesser version of what happens to Las Vegas. People say, hey, my favorite team is playing in Las Vegas. Let's go to Las Vegas to see them. And then you get a stadium filled abnormally with
Chicago Bears fans.
Bears fans, right, or whatever. And same thing. Like, Nashville is a destination city now.
Yeah.
It just is. Nashville's a destination city.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get people to go there and, hey, let's have a weekend in Nashville and watch our favorite team play.
And the tickets are going to be super expensive. So, like, again, if the Titans suck and they're trending in this direction of just being a bad team for a while, your home fans just probably ain't going to pay the exuberant prices to go watch a bad football team in person that, again, someone that's going on a big vacation to Nashville would spend.
You ever get frustrated? Like, wasn't too long ago you had a coach that people thought was good. You had a running back that people thought was great.
I thought they were dumb for firing him.
You had a receiver that people thought was great. Like, you had some of these pieces. You undid this.
Yeah.
You decided to trade your receiver. You decided to let your running back walk. You decided to fire your coach, and now you're worse off across the board.
For sure. I mean, obviously the A.J. Brown thing was with a different regime, and John Robinson lost his job, I think, because of that move solely. But, yeah, it's just there's Rand Carthen, like, they've got some decent pieces, that they'll invest in, but there haven't been a lot to suggest that this thing's being run well at all. Like, they're bad, and they're embarrassing. I mean, it's just... Yeah, they're embarrassing.
Well, I'm sorry you're going through this.
Well, I'm good. I want to lose every game. Like, I was glad to lose yesterday.
Do you have a quarterback that you want?
I don't know yet. I'm really, like, once we get into, like, the big draft discussions and everything, and where it'll start, it'll start working its way out, and we'll figure out who's like going to be like the top 3 quarterbacks drafted. They got to get. That's the thing is they got to get like because it's not a good quarterback draft. If they want the quarterback, they're probably going to need to get like a top 3 pick.
Well, I've got a Juan Soto, so my problems aren't that big.
I mean, dude, I watched the Bills and the Lions put up damn near 90 points combined in a game yesterday, and my team scoring 6 points in a loss at home. Like, we got a long way to go here.
They're doing the best they can.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll get better.
I don't know.
Not anytime soon, I don't think, but eventually, I'm sure better days are ahead. Maybe not soon, but eventually.
Probably not soon.
Probably not soon. Be back in a second.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Hoop on the Grizzlies home court at Junior Grizzlies Game Day Clinics presented by Ortho South. Clinics are open to kids ages 6 to 14 and last 60 minutes. The next clinic tips off December 23rd, the same day the Grizzlies play the Clippers. All skill levels are welcome, from beginner to competitive athlete. Sign up now before spots sell out at grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies. Registration includes a Junior Grizzlies t-shirt and 2 tickets to the game that day.
Grizzlies are just having fun out there tonight. Morant around a screen. Bumped by Wagner. No look to Smart. Lays it up on the window and in. And it is all Grizz. The Grizzlies have the fans on their feet at FedEx Forum.
How about them
How
Tigers?
about
Go
the Tigers?
Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I can't wait to see what your number one. If that's your number 2.
Number 1 for me.
Come on, man.
I listen to the Bells, Luther Vandross. I love Luther Vandross's Christmas album.
I gotta go back and listen to that one, man. I'm sure I've heard it.
To the Bells and they made me remember. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning into HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
somebody who really has done what they were supposed to do, or maybe wasn't expected to do, is Jalen Wells, the Western Conference Rookie of the Month.
What you're seeing right now is him showing that, hey, no matter where I was going to go in the draft, I was going to be ready.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz Beat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
So we're sitting around during the break. Bennett's over there playing on his computer. And he says, oh, well, the Tigers bowl game is tomorrow. It has snuck up on us. And
I didn't realize these games started this fast. Like, we're in it. We're in bowl season, man.
I knew this because I happened to look at it last night. But if I would not have thought to look at it last night, I would have had no idea that the University of Memphis is playing a bowl game tomorrow night. But they are down in Frisco, Texas, Toyota Stadium, Memphis, West Virginia, 8 o'clock. It's on ESPN. It's the Coffee Bowl.
It is going to be, honestly, it is a pretty good spot as far as viewership. That's going to be like the most watched thing tomorrow night. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. No NFL. Like, it's, Grizzlies aren't playing.
You get some college basketball stuff, but college football, anything college football beats college basketball. That, yeah. So, yeah. No, Memphis, West Virginia will probably be the most watched sports thing in the country tomorrow night. But, like, how much does it matter? How many people who even identify as Memphis fans right now are very aware that Memphis is playing a bowl game tomorrow night? Does my mom know that right now?
I'm not sure. I will say, like, I'm gonna be like dialed in and having a good time tomorrow night. Like, I'm excited to watch it. I love it when my team's on national TV.
You're ready to turn up, it sounds like.
I'm ready to turn up. Yeah, I'm ready to turn up. I mean, I would like to go in and just blast them. You're better than that team. Like I want them to go in and blast that team.
But here's the problem. I don't know if it's a problem. None of this is a real problem. All right.
No.
But remember last year when they were playing, was it Iowa State?
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, they haven't beat anybody like this all year. They're underdogs, and now you can go beat somebody who you're not supposed to beat, and you can say, don't say we didn't beat nobody. We just beat somebody we weren't supposed to beat. Mm-hmm. Well, now you're just playing another team that you're supposed to beat. A 6-6 team that fired his coach. Like, what am I going to say on Wednesday morning about a Memphis win over West Virginia that I haven't already said about Memphis at some point this season?
Well, I'd like to see Seth have a nice moment tomorrow.
Yes, you want that, sure.
I would. Again, like he had the comments a few weeks back about just like, obviously some regrets as far as like not winning a conference championship and whatnot.
I regret that too.
And Ryan actually said in his media availability today, said he was sorry to the fan base for not winning a conference championship.
I'll accept his apology.
Yeah.
We can all move on.
I hope for those guys they have a nice send-off to the season. I really do. I mean, again, like it's so weird how this season broke for them because their record is so good. Again, 10-2. Like, and if you just get one of those two wins against either Navy or UTSA, like, we're probably having a completely different discussion about that team today. As far as like, they probably wouldn't have made the college football playoff anyways. It doesn't look like, but I don't know. You would have been fighting for it, and so you would have been. It would have been super top of mind, like all the way down the stretch.
I think undefeated they would have got there.
I think undefeated, yes. One loss, probably not. Yeah,
but undefeated probably would have got you there.
Yeah,
and the two losses were both to teams that you should have beaten. That's the other thing about Memphis. Yeah. Memphis won a couple of games it wasn't supposed to win, but didn't lose to any teams. Both losses were to teams they were supposed to beat.
Mm-hmm.
we're not that far from this. There's a realistic scenario where they're 12-0 and in the college football playoff right now. I guess it'd have to be 13-0 because of a game in the AAC title game. But they were right there. But, you're either on the right side of the bar or you're the wrong side of the bar. Right side of the fence, wrong side of the fence. They're on the wrong side of the fence. And, again, none of this is an issue. In best case scenario, they'll win tomorrow. Seth will have a nice game in his home state in his Memphis finale. And they'll finish the season 11-2, and that's a nice season, even if it is disappointing relative to preseason expectations. It's still, 11-2. It's a nice record. We'll just leave it at that. But I don't think there's anything they can do tomorrow night that'll make me change my opinion of them. Whereas last season there was something they could do that would make you change your opinion of them because they could do something they hadn't done. All they can do tomorrow night is just beat another bad team.
I think that I could come back next season, even honestly, regardless of what happens tomorrow night. I do like, where we are now with the 12-team playoff. Even though they came short of like their expectations, I'm not saying the playoff was the expectation, but they didn't win the conference championship we wanted. You can come into next season like in Ryan's recruiting well and say, okay, like, yeah, you lost like your quarterback who broke all these records, but let's see what these other guys can do, and can they make a run at this thing again?
Oh, we come in the season and say all the same stuff we said this season?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you can come back and say that all that same stuff.
Sure.
Why not?
I will. I'm going to. I'm not trying to argue with you.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I'm saying you're right.
Yeah.
But it's just like, what somebody else is going to say?
Huh.
I heard this before.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Right. That's obviously true.
Right. We'll talk about how Memphis has a reasonable path to the college football playoff, and then people will say, yeah, I heard you idiots say this last year.
Yeah.
And then they,
That's fair.
Lost to Navy.
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
Right. Anyway, Memphis bowl game tomorrow night.
I'm in. I've never had Scooter's coffee before, but I drive past it all the time.
Yeah, well.
Heard good things.
Okay, all right. Well, if you heard great things, you'd stop.
I'm rooting for Ryan to get a bucket of coffee dumped on his head tomorrow night.
But no.
That's what they do at the Frisco Bowl. If you're the winning coach, they dump a bucket of coffee on you.
Do they really do that?
I don't think it's hot. I think they let it sit for a while and get lukewarm. They're not dumping freshly brewed coffee on him. That'd be cruel.
I wouldn't mind seeing somebody burn a little bit.
No, I don't want that for Coach. But yeah, an iced coffee perhaps.
Beat West Virginia and get third-degree burns. Maybe an iced coffee. Maybe a latte.
I don't think they'll do that.
Maybe a sugar-free latte.
I don't think they'll do that.
Maybe an iced sugar-free latte.
Okay.
Does the time of the year dictate how you take your coffee?
Yeah, I've always been a I have different tastes. So like right now I'm just drinking a black coffee. Like typically in the mornings I just drink black coffee.
That's fine.
Doesn't matter what kind of coffee, I'll drink any kind.
More specifically, what I mean is when it's cold, I think most people want hot coffee. Mm-hmm. When it's hot, do you go iced coffee?
I do both. Like I got an iced coffee this weekend when it was cold.
You'll do whatever you want.
Yeah, man. I like going real crazy with my coffee.
Nobody's going to tell you what to do. Nobody's going to tell you what to do.
Sometimes I want a little sweet treat. I don't care.
Nobody's going to tell you what to do.
No. Nobody's going to tell me what to do.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Nobody's going to tell you how to take your coffee.
Take it all kinds of ways, yeah.
I do too, Bennett.
Yeah.
I do too.
Sometimes you got to have a little treat.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, but do you ever feel bad? It's like you'll go, yeah, I guess I'm going to do one of them Frappuccinos. Mm-hmm. But then it's like you just did 1,400 calories.
I don't do the Frappuccinos. I have before in my life, but no.
I like them. And then I
found that out.
But then I hate myself.
Yeah, when I found out it's like eating half of a cake, I was like, I probably shouldn't do this.
I know. I enjoy the experience, but then I hate myself. It's probably a little bit like.
No, I meant like a latte.
It's a little bit like Lily Phillips, I bet. You think this is a good idea, but then you do it and you start to feel bad about yourself. That's the way I feel when I get a Frappuccino.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit like Lily Phillips.
I get that.
Sometimes I feel like Lily Phillips walking out of Starbucks. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the Scooters.
I also get embarrassed.
Coffee Frisco Bowl. That's tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's tomorrow night. I also get embarrassed when I order like something, let me get like the Christmas like sugar cookie coffee right now, and then like the person next to me orders just like a black coffee, and I'm like, I want to tell them like, and they heard my order. I want to be like, I drink black coffee too.
I drink black
coffee too.
I drink
I'm just
black
having a
coffee
sweet
too.
treat today.
I'm just having a sweet treat. This is a special day.
Yeah, I don't want you to think that I'm not just like a regular coffee guy too.
This is my cheat day.
Yes.
Hey, don't look at me like that. This is my cheat day.
Right.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I have those moments myself, Bennett. I had a moment like that in the Atlanta airport yesterday.
You did?
I stopped and got me a little yogurt.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted one by myself. I felt like I'd been working hard. I was traveling.
But you saw the eyeballs.
Yeah, I'm
like this dude's sitting here eating his little yogurt treat.
Old ass man walking out.
I feel that way too, dude. I feel that way too about stuff. I'll be by myself and I'll get like a slice of pie or something. I'm like, oh, they're judging me.
They said,
look at this loser.
They said, would you like some toppings? And I went,
what you got?
I looked around. I was like, yeah, let's go Oreos.
Yeah.
Reese's and Kit Kat.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, surely you want a banana or something on there?
Yeah, dude. Nah. Can we put a strawberry on it for you?
No, man.
You're already in it.
I was in it, but I felt like I deserved that,
Yeah, sometimes you got to treat yourself.
Sometimes you got to treat yourself, Bennett.
Yep.
The Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl's tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
Look forward to it.
Me too.
8 o'clock kick. It's on ESPN. Be back in a second.
I can't wait to see what your number one. If that's your number two.
Number one for me.
Come on, man.
I listen to the Bells of Luther Vandross. I love Luther Vandross's Christmas album.
I gotta go back and listen to that one, man. I'm sure I've heard it.
To the bells and they made me remember. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Look at that. We got the whole Grizzlies team just infiltrated our studio. Santi Aldama's in the house. Look at everybody. The whole Grizzlies team. Look at Zach Edey's in the house. John Morant's in the house. Say hello. Say hello.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Anticipate each challenge. Make a quick response. Capitalize on every opportunity. And win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of up to $340,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Here Comes Santa kicks off November 24th. Get one free entry and earn additional entries for weekly Saturday drawings. Don't forget the grand finale drawing on Saturday, December 21st to win up to $5,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quoting, call 800-522-4700. Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
There was a tweet from NBA G League that Cam Spencer was, quote, unconscious. Cam Spencer had 51 points on 75% shooting. The Grizzlies front office ability to find talent late in the draft continues to be a massive positive for this team.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball. But the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board. A class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
How about them
How
Tigers?
about
Go
the
Tigers. Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
ESPN put out a list. Top 30 best pro wrestlers under 30 in the world today. Number 1, Dirty Dom. Number 2, MJF.
I think Dom is deserving to be number 1. I think he is probably, like I said, one of the greatest heels in the last 10, 15 years. Like you said, he can't talk on the microphone.
The fans love it because they feel like they're a part of the show.
And that's the best.
Without their booze, he's not the best heel.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Bennett, I can't update you. Brian Callahan, Titans coach, has met with the media.
Oh, what did Brian say?
Within the past 30 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Says that they will use the next few days to evaluate the quarterback position.
Yeah.
They have not settled yet on a starter moving forward. Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not start Will Levis? He's the guy you invested in.
Yeah.
If he's ever going to become something, you got to see it. And the only way you could ever see it is if he's out there. So just let him keep being out there. If he's ever going to show you anything, that's the only way to ever find it.
Yep.
And if he doesn't, that's not the worst thing in the world because you're tanking. And if he sucks, that's probably good in the spirit of tanking.
Yeah, I think probably conflicting interest going on. Like Brian Callahan wants to keep his job. I know he's a first-year coach and he should be okay, but like they're really bad. And there's nothing to suggest, at least right now, that he's a good NFL coach. And so you're trying to keep your job. And I think now you can't win with this guy. Like we have seen enough to know he's not an NFL quarterback. I think they've probably seen enough to know he's not an NFL quarterback. I think that's why you would make a move if you're him.
Okay, but like, would you allow him to be motivated by those things if you're the front office? Because I don't think I would.
I think that
I would say, buddy, the most important thing for our franchise right now isn't you trying to prove you can coach and win a football game.
Right. I agree with that. I think there's probably something to, your team just getting completely demoralized when they're out there competing.
That's the biggest problem.
And the quarterback's throwing the ball to the other team every possession.
It's not that he just sucked yesterday. He gave it away 4 times.
Yeah, and one of them was a horrible pick six. Like I just think that you're doing it for multiple reasons, including like some morale.
For me, the only argument to make a change would be I owe something to the other guys in this locker room.
Yeah.
And we can't keep throwing this guy out there.
No.
We can't do this to them.
No, what they'll do is he was dealing with a shoulder like last week. And people have suggested that the shoulder's still barring him. He took a big hit yesterday. They're going to say Levis, shoulder injury, questionable all week, and I bet Mason Rudolph starts this weekend.
Yeah.
That's what I think will happen.
Yeah. And then you hope probably if you're the front office that you lose either way.
Man, I hope so. I'm a huge Raiders fan tonight, and I'm a huge Giants fan going forward as well. I don't know if either of those teams are doing it right. They know. They're like, we want number one pick. We ain't winning. So Raiders get a home game on Monday Night Football tonight, though, so that could, you get a little extra juice. I'm hoping they win.
All right, you want to pick it? We'll pick it.
You want to do that one?
We'll do that. We'll do it next.
Okay.
GP's carryout.
There was a tweet from NBA G League that Cam Spencer was, quote, unconscious. Cam Spencer had 51 points on 75% shooting. The Grizzlies' front office ability to find talent late in the draft continues to be a massive positive for this team.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Look at that. We got the whole Grizzlies team just infiltrated our studio. Santi Aldama's in the house. Look at everybody. The whole Grizzlies team. Look at Zach Edey's in the house. John Morant's in the house. Say hello. Say hello.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Somebody who really has done what they were supposed to do, or maybe wasn't expected to do, is Jalen Wells, the Western Conference Rookie of the Month.
What you're seeing right now is him showing that, hey, no matter where I was going to go in the draft, I was going to be ready.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Get the squad together for this year's Junior Grizzlies 3-on-3 tournament, presented by 2K at the Built Ford Tough practice facility inside FedEx Forum. On Saturday, January 4th, teams will compete in 3 games before advancing to single elimination play. Overall winners from the 10 and under, 12 and under, and 14 and under divisions will win Grizzlies tickets, including exclusive access to the pregame team shoot-around before the Grizz take on the Pelicans January 24th. Sign up today at hoopitup.com/Grizzlies.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
How about them
How
Tigers?
about
Go
the
Tigers. Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Welcome back. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. Yucky day outside, it looks like. Why is it so yucky out there?
I don't know, man.
I come home for like 2 days, and it's just yucky out there. I didn't know it was going to be so yucky outside, Bennett. I'd have just stayed where I was.
I kind of dig it.
I know
it's
you
my
do.
cup of tea.
I might get me
it's
a little.
my cup of coffee.
Bennett, I might get a nap myself today.
Okay.
I might get a nap. I might get a nap myself. All right, let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Whole bunch of stuff, but we got breaking news.
Uh-oh, what's up? Why you sound so sad?
Well, it's a school shooting, Bennett.
Oh, are you serious? My God.
Multiple people have been injured after a shooting at a Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin.
Jesus.
School shooting. So, you know, if you got a Twitter account, I guess this is when you're supposed to type thoughts and prayers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That'll fix it. That'll fix it. I wish I wouldn't have just seen that. I was going to talk about the Grizzlies a little bit more.
I see it too,
Yeah. Anyway. Grizzlies played in Los Angeles last night, Crypto.com Arena. We spent time on it in the first hour. LeBron James made his return after missing 2 games, so the Grizz were up against a well-rested King. Tough when you're up against a well-rested King, plus Anthony Davis, especially when Jaren Jackson Jr. fouls out in the 4th. So it was a loss. 6-point loss. 6-point loss, trailed by as many as 23. That's the bad news. Good news? Back on the court Thursday inside FedEx Forum.
Okay,
Steph
I'm
Curry
sick of these breaks.
and the Warriors are coming to town.
I'm sick of these breaks.
A lot of breaks.
A lot of breaks.
A lot of breaks.
No, I want to play, man. I want to get back at it.
Hey,
I'm fired up for Thursday though. Big game.
Warriors are coming to town. Grizzlies still 4th best record in the NBA. 2nd best record in the West. I know you don't like to lose to a well-rested King and an Anthony Davis, but still sitting at a good place on this Monday morning. I choose to focus on that.
Okay, good.
What's today's biggest game?
Got a doubleheader Monday Night Football.
Why?
I don't know, Bennett.
I was trying to figure that out. Why we got a doubleheader? I'm wondering if I like it. I mean, I'll take it.
I don't know if I like it. Bears-Vikings at 7 o'clock. Falcons-Raiders at 7:30.
God, both games suck. Could we not have made like maybe the Falcons play the Vikings?
Yeah, I'm not in charge.
A little more intrigued there.
They didn't even. Not only am I not in charge of that, they didn't even ask. They didn't even ask. You said you got rooting interest.
I do.
You're
yes.
rooting for the Raiders.
Yeah, and I guess maybe the Bears in a sense. Yeah.
Atlanta -6, totals 44.5. You want the Raiders plus the 6 so you can root for them tonight?
Yeah, I do. I want the Raiders. Yeah, I want the Raiders. Well, I mean, why are the Falcons getting 6? They're slipping. I
think the explanation would be because they're playing the Raiders.
Yeah, I think Antonio Pierce is going to have them guys fired up for a Monday Night Football. You know, you don't get, when you're a bad team, you don't get many, opportunities to shine. This is your time to shine.
Remember when he was really good at getting people fired up and then they gave him the job full time? And now he doesn't fire anybody up anymore.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
7:30 kick. Bennett says take the Raiders plus the 6.
What are we watching on TV?
Have you heard of the Kings of Tupelo on Netflix?
I have not.
Okay.
I've been to Tupelo.
Me too.
Yeah. I've been to Elvis's house.
Me too.
It's little.
He didn't have much room.
No, it's like the size of this room.
Yeah. Like little bitty Elvis Presley sitting over there in the corner. Elvis Aaron.
No offense, it's a little underwhelming.
Yeah, there ain't much going on.
Because the lead up, that road you go down to get to it, you're like, damn, this is big time. And then you get to the house and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little underwhelming. The Kings of Tupelo. It's a 3-part documentary on Netflix right now, just dropped. So there's these two brothers, and they're Elvis impersonators.
Okay.
And then one of them does what it is we've been talking about over the past couple of weeks. Got alone, got on the computer too much, got crazy.
Oh, no. He was radicalized.
He got radicalized on the computer. Tried to kill Barack Obama.
Oh, my God.
It's a wild situation.
The Elvis impersonator tried to kill Barack Obama?
It's a wild situation. I don't want to ruin it for you. I haven't finished it yet. I'm like near the end of episode 2.
Okay.
I'll knock it out. I'll finish it today. The Kings of Tupelo. 3-part documentary on Netflix right now. It's a true story, and it's in the top 10 at Netflix right now. So check that out. We'll talk about it later.
What's the best thing we've read?
Over the CBSSports.com, I updated the top 25 and 1. I told you Memphis is number 21. Wrote about Rick Barnes and Bruce Pearl. They are the coaches of number 1 Tennessee and number 2 Auburn. Mm-hmm. Interesting. 2 coaches. Both of them have been fired.
Oh, yeah,
Rick Barnes got fired by
true.
Texas. Bruce Pearl got fired by Tennessee. On the days that those things happen, you never know if they'll ever be relevant figures in college basketball again. They both found new homes in the SEC. They have the top 2 teams in the country right now. You can read that CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's Tuesday. Get ready for the NBA Cup Championship. That's Bucks Thunder out in Las Vegas tomorrow night. Memphis, West Virginia in the Coffee Bowl. We'll get you ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
Should be a fun day.
It's the Frisco Bowl.
It's the Coffee Bowl. Fun day. Looking forward to it already. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. Let's meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.